Subtle signals matter more than words because most men are trained to look for obvious declarations instead of the quiet language of attraction. Women rarely come out and say, "I'm interested," because expressing interest directly can feel risky. They communicate through gestures, presence, energy, tone, and attention. A man who only waits for explicit confirmation misses the majority of the signals that are constantly being sent. Every glance, every slight shift in posture, every smile that lingers longer than casual politeness carries meaning. Recognizing these moments requires awareness, presence, and an understanding that attraction is emotional, not always verbal. A woman who leans in slightly when you speak is demonstrating interest without words. A subtle touch on the arm, a playful nudge, or a brush of hair from the face is not coincidence. These microsignals indicate comfort, curiosity, and the desire to connect. Men who fail to notice these moments lose the opportunity to respond and cultivate deeper connection. Subtle signals are the difference between a man who remains invisible and a man who becomes magnetic. They are the threads of attraction woven into ordinary moments. A prolonged smile, a laugh that comes unexpectedly, or eyes that track you across a room are not random behaviors. They are designed, consciously or unconsciously, to communicate openness and interest. A man must train himself to read the environment and recognize emotional energy. Attention to detail reveals attraction patterns invisible to those who are distracted. Observing her tone of voice when she talks about her day, how animated her expressions become, or whether she mirrors your movements are all signs of engagement. Men who assume women are indifferent simply because they haven't spoken directly are ignoring the evidence of attraction presented in behavior. Every interaction carries signals if you know where to look. Women communicate in ways that are layered and nuanced, often to gauge a man's confidence and attentiveness. Subtlety allows them to protect themselves from rejection while testing interest safely. A man who can perceive these nuances becomes a rare individual, a man who sees what most overlook. Subtle signals are often cumulative. One smile may be casual, but repeated smiles in conversation indicate growing comfort and curiosity. One playful tease may be inconsequential, but a pattern of teasing and engagement points to deeper interest. Recognizing the rhythm of these signals allows a man to respond in alignment with attraction rather than missing the window entirely. Subtle signals also reflect emotional alignment. The way she positions herself toward you, the warmth in her tone, the openness of her body language, and the consistency of her attention all reveal emotional investment. Men who learn to interpret these cues can escalate connection naturally and confidently without forcing conversation or over-analyzing intent. Subtle signals are the language of emotional intelligence. They require observation, reflection, and the courage to respond appropriately. Confidence does not demand that a man wait for confirmation. It requires that he trusts his instincts when signals are present. Acting on subtle signals creates momentum. Ignoring them leads to regret, missed opportunities, and interactions that never evolve beyond casual acquaintance. Men who understand subtle attraction know that words are rarely the first step. They recognize that connection begins in the unspoken, the glances, the touches, the micro moments where interest is revealed. Learning to read these signals sharpens perception, increases confidence, and positions a man as aware, present, and attractive. Subtle signals are everywhere, in laughter, proximity, attention, mirroring, and playful energy. Recognizing them transforms interactions into opportunities. Missing them leaves men unaware of the very moments that could have changed everything. Awareness of subtle signals demands mindfulness. It demands that a man notice patterns in behavior rather than relying on assumptions. It requires emotional attunement to shifts in energy, tone, and focus. These signals are not random. They are consistent markers of attraction, often repeated until they are noticed. Every micro behavior has meaning. Every prolonged look, every engaged response, and every hint of curiosity is a message. Men who see and act on these moments step into the space of attraction. Men who ignore them remain on the outside, puzzled about why connection never deepens. Subtle signals are the foundation of female attraction. They precede words, they precede explicit invitations, and they often determine whether a man is seen as desirable. Mastery of these signals gives a man the ability to move confidently, respond authentically, and create connection effortlessly. Awareness, presence, and the courage to act are the keys. Every subtle smile, every small touch, every engaged laugh, every lingering look is a guidepost. Seeing these signs is not optional. It is the difference between being overlooked and being unforgettable. They are the quiet language women use to communicate interest, and men who learn to read them unlock a world of connection, intimacy, and attraction that words alone cannot provide. Recognizing subtle signals elevates a man from ordinary to magnetic because it demonstrates emotional intelligence, confidence, and attentiveness. Every interaction becomes a map, and every behavioral clue is a signal waiting to be noticed. Men who understand this see the opportunity in every glance, every gesture, and every micro moment. Ignoring subtle signals guarantees missed chances. Noticing them creates attraction, momentum, and connection. Time and curiosity are emotional currency because they reveal where a woman's interest truly lies. Every moment a woman chooses to spend with you is a deliberate investment of her energy, attention, and focus. Women do not casually give their time to men who fail to capture their interest. When she continues a conversation, asks questions, or shows up consistently, she is signaling attraction through action, not words. Men who fail to recognize this mistake often assume politeness is the limit of interest, ignoring the underlying engagement. Curiosity is one of the clearest indicators of emotional connection. When a woman wants to know about your opinions, experiences, future plans, or thoughts on personal matters, she is opening the door to emotional intimacy. These questions are not idle. They are tests to gauge your personality, confidence, and compatibility. A man who dismisses curiosity as casual interest misses the point entirely. Observing patterns of curiosity reveals what most men overlook. Attraction is expressed through investment, not declarations. Attention given over time, especially in repeated interactions, is a direct signal. If she consistently engages, initiates conversation, or follows up on previous topics, she is investing emotionally. Men who wait for grand gestures or overt confessions will fail to see the signals that are already present in these micro-investments. Emotional currency operates on two levels: consistency and depth. Repetition of small behaviors, lingering messages, ongoing questions, or finding reasons to spend time together creates a cumulative signal of attraction. Depth occurs when curiosity moves beyond surface-level inquiries to meaningful exploration of your values, experiences, and emotions. This depth signals trust and interest. Men who recognize both the consistency and depth of her investment can respond with aligned energy and confidence, creating attraction rather than confusion. Curiosity also serves as a bridge to vulnerability. A woman who asks personal questions is testing whether you are willing to engage authentically, to share parts of yourself that matter. How you respond to her curiosity determines the pace and intensity of attraction. Dismissive or indifferent responses communicate disinterest or insecurity, while engaged, thoughtful answers reinforce her investment. Time spent together is also a measure of value. When she rearranges priorities, extends interactions, or makes space to see you, these are unmistakable signs of attraction. Men who overlook these shifts fail to recognize that attraction is demonstrated, not declared. Emotional currency is often subtle. Small actions, like responding promptly to messages, remembering details, or showing attentiveness, accumulate into meaningful signals. Recognizing these requires observation, presence, and the ability to interpret intent beyond the surface level. Men who misread curiosity or undervalue time invested missed opportunities to connect deeply. Attraction is often a series of consistent, small gestures rather than dramatic declarations. Each moment she chooses to engage with you reinforces interest and signals readiness for deeper connection. Understanding this principle transforms interactions. It shifts focus from seeking validation through words to observing behavior, energy, and engagement. Men who master this see patterns, notice repetition, and interpret meaning where others see randomness. Curiosity is also a reflection of psychological comfort. The questions she asks indicate curiosity balanced with safety. She wants to explore you without risking emotional exposure prematurely. A man who recognizes this can match her pace, demonstrate security, and build attraction naturally. Ignoring curiosity or misreading time investment leads to hesitation, doubt, and missed opportunities. Awareness of emotional currency empowers a man to act confidently. Every repeated question, every effort to extend time together, and every sign of engagement is a signpost pointing toward connection. The cumulative effect of curiosity and time creates momentum. Each interaction adds weight to attraction, and the man who notices this momentum can respond decisively rather than waiting for certainty. Emotional currency is also reciprocal. When a man mirrors her curiosity, invests his time, and engages authentically, he amplifies attraction. Women respond to men who recognize and value their investment, creating a dynamic where interest deepens naturally. Every question she asks, every conversation she prolongs, and every moment she prioritizes with you is a signal of attraction disguised as everyday interaction. Men who fail to see this interpret engagement as casual or routine, missing the fundamental language of female psychology. Understanding curiosity and time as emotional currency elevates perception, confidence, and influence. It allows a man to see attraction in action, respond to it authentically, and escalate connection naturally. Men who recognize these patterns gain clarity, avoid overthinking, and create momentum instead of uncertainty. Curiosity and time spent together are not trivial. They are signals layered with meaning, repeated to ensure they are noticed. Mastering this principle turns subtle behaviors into clear markers of interest. Every follow-up question, every effort to continue interaction, and every choice to invest time reflects a deliberate signal. Men who interpret these correctly move with confidence, understanding that attraction is already present and that the key is to respond, not to wait. Emotional currency transforms ordinary moments into indicators of connection, and men who read it effectively step into the flow of attraction effortlessly. Playfulness indicates engagement because it is the emotional bridge between curiosity and attraction. Women rarely engage in teasing, joking, or playful challenges without underlying interest. Playfulness is not random behavior. It is a subtle, deliberate way to test a man's confidence, responsiveness, and emotional presence. A woman who laughs at things that aren't particularly funny, teases lightly, or challenges your opinions is giving you a window into her interest. Men who dismiss playfulness as casual fun miss one of the clearest markers of attraction. Every playful comment, every wink, every challenge is layered with meaning. It signals comfort, emotional safety, and a desire to see how you handle energy and tension. Women instinctively use playfulness to gauge whether a man can match their emotional rhythm without overreacting or withdrawing. A man who responds with confidence, humor, and calm curiosity demonstrates that he can handle interaction at an emotional level. Hesitation, defensiveness, or overthinking breaks the flow of attraction. Playfulness is a language of testing. It asks silently, "Can you engage without fear? Can you meet me with energy and confidence?" Those who understand this read the cues and respond naturally. Laughter is a critical component of this language. Genuine laughter signals connection and comfort. When she laughs at your jokes, even small or imperfect ones, she is signaling that she feels relaxed and positively engaged. When her laughter is combined with teasing, it becomes a layered message. She is inviting engagement while assessing your response. Men who misinterpret teasing as disinterest or annoyance create distance. Playfulness also reflects curiosity expressed emotionally. A woman who challenges your statements or opinions is probing for authenticity. She wants to see how you react under light pressure, whether you can maintain composure, and whether you can match her energy without needing approval. This is not manipulation. It is instinctive behavioral signaling that conveys attraction safely. Understanding this requires observation and practice. The rhythm, frequency, and tone of playful behavior are all part of the signal. Repeated teasing, jokes, or playful challenges increase the likelihood of attraction. Sporadic or one-off playful moments are less significant than consistent engagement that demonstrates comfort, interest, and emotional investment. Playfulness creates intimacy because it allows both parties to interact in a low-risk, emotionally charged space. The exchange of playful energy fosters connection without the need for heavy conversation or overt declarations. Men who respond naturally, with warmth and wit, amplify attraction and build emotional alignment. Those who overanalyze, react defensively, or withdraw kill momentum. Physical cues often accompany playful behavior. A light touch, a wink, leaning slightly closer during playful teasing, or matching energy and gestures are all part of the nonverbal language that amplifies engagement. Men who notice these microsignals gain clarity about her level of interest. Playfulness also signals confidence and social intelligence. A woman's comfort in being playful suggests she trusts you enough to expose her personality without judgment. Responding with your own playful energy communicates that you are secure, attentive, and capable of holding emotional space. Men who ignore playfulness fail to recognize that attraction is already present. They wait for grand gestures instead of engaging with the signals offered naturally. Emotional engagement is cumulative. Each teasing remark, playful challenge, or shared laugh builds connection and deepens attraction. Patterns of playful interaction indicate consistent interest, while one-off jokes may simply reflect mood or circumstance. Men who see the pattern understand her investment and can escalate interaction with confidence. Playfulness also reveals compatibility. How she engages, the type of humor she expresses, and how she tests your responses provides insight into alignment of values, personality, and emotional rhythm. Men who recognize this can respond in ways that reinforce mutual interest and chemistry. Ignoring playfulness creates misunderstanding. Men may perceive engagement as casual or dismiss it as inconsequential, missing critical windows to connect. Recognizing the layered meaning of playfulness elevates awareness, perception, and confidence. Every tease, every laugh, every challenge is a signal of emotional investment waiting to be noticed. Responding appropriately requires presence, attentiveness, and the courage to match energy without overthinking. Playfulness is a mirror of attraction. Women project interest in ways that invite response, testing men's emotional intelligence and confidence. Men who engage naturally, respond with warmth and wit, and maintain composure amplify attraction effortlessly. Those who fail to see the pattern or misread signals remain overlooked. Understanding the significance of playfulness allows men to act decisively, creating connection instead of confusion. Engagement through playfulness is not optional. It is one of the clearest, most consistent indicators that attraction is present. Each moment of shared laughter, teasing, or playful challenge is an opportunity to deepen emotional connection, demonstrate confidence, and build momentum. Awareness, observation, and responsive energy transform playful behavior from casual interaction into a roadmap of attraction. Men who master this recognize that playfulness is not frivolous. It is the emotional signal that invites connection, tests readiness, and opens the door to intimacy. Responding to it confidently and authentically positions a man as magnetic, present, and aligned with the emotional rhythm of attraction. Every playful interaction is a signal to be read, understood, and matched, and those who fail to engage miss one of the most powerful pathways to female interest. Physical proximity speaks volumes because the way a woman positions herself around a man communicates interest far more clearly than words ever could. Women instinctively move closer to people they feel safe with, attracted to, or curious about. When she chooses to sit near you, lean toward you during conversation, or linger in your presence, she is signaling comfort, interest, and engagement. Men who ignore proximity fail to notice the emotional weight of her choices. Every step closer, every intentional move in your direction is an unspoken invitation. When she walks beside you rather than elsewhere, or chooses the spot closest to you in a room, she is investing her energy to be near you. This is attraction in action, expressed through body language and spatial awareness. Men often misread proximity as coincidence, failing to interpret subtle shifts in distance, orientation, and posture. Observing how she adjusts her physical space reveals patterns of interest and emotional connection. Proximity is not just about closeness, it reflects comfort and safety. A woman who consistently chooses to be near you signals that she feels secure, respected, and emotionally engaged. She is opening a door that most men overlook, offering access to deeper interaction. Men who recognize these cues can respond naturally, reinforcing connection without needing explicit confirmation. Subtle cues, such as leaning in during conversation, tilting her body toward you, or mirroring your movements, amplify the signal of attraction. Physical orientation communicates attentiveness and emotional focus, indicating that she is present with you fully, not just physically, but emotionally. Proximity also reflects prioritization. When she adjusts her plans, stands nearby, or remains in your presence longer than necessary, she is choosing you over other options. Men who fail to recognize this mistake assume interest must be verbally stated or externally obvious, overlooking the consistent evidence in her physical engagement. Every micro movement carries information. The way she crosses her legs facing you, the angle of her torso, or the way she subtly shifts closer during conversation are all part of an unspoken dialogue. Responding to these cues demonstrates emotional intelligence and awareness, positioning a man as present, confident, and attentive. Physical proximity is also cumulative. One instance may be accidental, but repeated closeness over multiple interactions signals ongoing interest and comfort. Patterns are what distinguish casual behavior from attraction. Men who observe these patterns can interpret her level of engagement and act confidently, rather than hesitating out of uncertainty. Proximity works in tandem with other signals. When combined with sustained eye contact, playful energy, and curiosity, physical closeness reinforces attraction in a holistic, undeniable way. Ignoring it creates blind spots that lead to confusion, missed opportunities, and the false belief that she is uninterested. Every deliberate movement toward you is a message. She is invested, engaged, and curious. Awareness of these behaviors allows a man to escalate connection with clarity, matching her energy and reinforcing her comfort. Subtle touches, leaning slightly forward, or entering the same space repeatedly are all signs that she values your presence and is emotionally receptive. Men who notice these details become magnetic because they are responding to signals women are already giving. Physical proximity also communicates exclusivity. When she positions herself closer to you than others, it demonstrates preference, signaling that she feels a unique connection with you. Recognizing this allows a man to step into the interaction with confidence rather than seeking external validation. Proximity is inherently tied to emotional rhythm. Women naturally gravitate toward men whose presence excites, comforts, and aligns with them. Observing how she navigates physical space provides insight into her feelings, engagement, and readiness for deeper interaction. Men who fail to see these cues miss the most obvious expressions of attraction, often waiting for verbal confirmation that may never come. Every step towards you, every moment of closeness, and every choice to linger is meaningful. Awareness, attentiveness, and the ability to read subtle spatial cues transform ordinary interactions into opportunities for connection. Responding to her proximity with confidence and alignment demonstrates respect, understanding, and attraction. Men who master the language of physical closeness unlock a deeper level of connection, creating momentum without forcing interaction or overanalyzing intent. Observing, noticing, and responding to physical engagement elevates perception, emotional intelligence, and presence. Every micro adjustment, every choice to be near, and every consistent pattern of closeness is a signal waiting to be noticed. Men who recognize this act decisively, engaging authentically, and reinforcing comfort, deepening attraction naturally. Ignoring these cues leaves men uncertain and disconnected, while noticing and responding positions a man as confident, aware, and aligned with the emotional flow of attraction. Physical proximity is one of the most reliable indicators of interest, consistently revealing engagement through presence, attention, and intentional movement. Recognizing and acting on these patterns transforms interactions into connection, ensuring that attraction is acknowledged, matched, and amplified.